So how arduous was it coming up with, more stuff to do for everybody and coming back after a project that was your baby, which was Hellboy 1?
It's not hard to come up with more stuff. It's hard to cut it out. And we did. We had 4 or 5 moments that actually got reviewed as a screenplay online that I loved, and we had to cut them out for budget reasons. So coming up with the stuff is what we like to do.
Right.
But and coming up with the banter for these guys is what I love to do. HB.
Now, I see a lot of homages to your other films, such as Pan's Labyrinth and stuff like that. Did you come across stuff that you really loved in Pan's Labyrinth and your other films that you wanted to put in this, or is it just stuff, your vision, that you wanted to put everywhere? How did that work?
It just works naturally, I do include one joke in every movie that is kind of a joke for the movies before. There are specifically a nod. There is a specific nod to...
Can you tell us what it is?
It's in the market scenes, the fairies that are floating around in the market are exactly the fairies of Pan's Labyrinth.
Very cool.
Exactly.
Very cool.
So the reality is that I don't do it thinking, I'm going to do my thing. I just do it. And I do what comes naturally because, your DNA cannot be faked. You can fake your fingerprints, cannot fake your DNA.
Right.
You can amputate them and
cut them off, but
DNA,
not so much.
Not
so much. Yeah. Well, they came in the comic books. Now, growing up, working on Hellboy and stuff like that. Growing up, were you a comic book fan now or then? Or
I've been a comic book fan since I learned to read. Since I was 29. Since I learned to read at age 3 or 4. I learned to read with comic books. And I learned English through Famous Monsters of Filmland and Mad Magazine.
Excellent.
So no, I've been pretty much a hardcore guy.
What are you reading now?
I follow mostly Mignola. I follow a lot of European comics. I don't want to sound like a snob, but I love stuff. There's a guy called Johan Safar that writes a series called Dungeon that I absolutely am in love with. I follow independent comics both in Europe and in America. I'm a big follower of Jim Woodring, Joe Matt. Not exactly your superhero guys. And I'm a devout follower of Richard Corbin. Whatever he does, I get. So I think that's about it.
Excellent. Now, not giving too much away, can you tell us a little bit about how the story evolves in this film, rather than the first film?
Yeah, the characters are more comfortable with each other. I think Hellboy is getting antsy about being kept a secret, and he is a little more sloppy and disrespectful and hard to get along with in the beginning of the movie. It's a little more cocky, and he's his usual short-tempered self. So all of that comes into play. Abe Sapien meets a guy that he really respects as a leader, which is Johan, and at the same time meets a character from the elf world that he kind of gets a crush on. But it's not a love story like Hellboy and Liz. It's completely different and far more spiritual and far more magical in a way than there.